Rockin' tune. Neil Young, Rockin' in the Free World. This is a great, just pounding strumming song. Really fun to play, a little tough to sing. It's way up there. I don't think I'll be doing any vocal demonstrations on this song yet today. One thing, of course, even when Neil Young plays this, he's usually got his guitar tuned down a whole step when he's playing the acoustic version, because he just doesn't need to belt it out as much, although he belts this song out pretty well anyway. A couple interesting things about the chords. Mostly normal chords: D's, C's, G's, and E minors, and E minor 7. Now, our normal fingering for E minor is your second and third fingers on the 5th and 4th strings at the 2nd fret. Hopefully everybody's playing E minor like that. Best way to play E minor 7 in most circumstances is by adding your 4th finger to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. That's what we want in this. Now, there's a few other spots where you play a normal E minor in the chorus, but most of the time you want the E minor 7. Now, most of the measures that start with E minor 7 start with a bass note, so you have a little bit of time to get that whole chord down, since you're coming from D usually, I think. C. Yeah, C. Depends. Anyway, so we've got this E minor 7, normal fingering for D, first, second, and third fingers, normal fingering for C, and my normal fingering for G, which is the second, third, and fourth fingers. I don't like people playing their first, second, and third fingers as the standard way of playing G. There's all kinds of times you need to play it that way. Well, no, you never need to play it that way. You rarely need to play it that way. But sometimes that's a finger you're going to use if you're going to use all 4 fingers for the G when you've got the 2 high notes both at the 3rd fret. But in this case, we want regular Gs, so 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers. Get used to playing it that way. So, the strumming pattern for the beginning is is mostly down, down, up, down, up, down, up. So that's kind of our default pattern that happens in most of the measures. And you could do almost the whole song like that, except there are a couple measures where you have to change in the middle of it. The way I have the tab in this one is because of some half measure changes, actually because of a lot of half measure changes. I've got a chord and a slash representing one measure. So you see E minor 7 and a slash, that means only 4 beats of E minor 7, and those 4 beats would be bass, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Goes to D, and on the D, we want 8th notes at the beginning, which would be down, up, but on the up, lift off your 2nd finger so that we hear the open E. The 2nd beat is a missing down, and we get to the C on an up. Up, down, up. So, the measure of D to C is down, up on the D, and again, you're lifting your 2nd finger off the 1st string as you're doing that up, and then you're starting the C on an up, up, down, up. Here it is without too much narration. Now, another really important element, every time you're changing chords, almost every time. I hate saying every, but I do it all the time. Well, I don't do it all the time. Well, stop. Most of the time, when you're changing chords and the last stroke in a measure is the up on the and of beat 4, you want to let go of that chord on the up. It has to be across open strings. So in my measure of E minor 7, bass, down, up, down, up, down, off. Now I go to D for the down and the up is, I've got my 2nd finger coming off. I now have a fake down, I go to C for up, down, off, before I hit the last E minor. Here that is a couple more times very slowly. Leads me into the chorus. So I just did 4 sets of the line that we need for the verse, and the chorus is very similar in that it's 4 lines of the same thing. I go to G, 1 full measure of G. Down, down, up, down, off on my way to D, down, down, up, down, off. Whole measure of C. Now, something very similar to what happened on the D to C thing again. I do down up on the C. Now I'm looking at the last measure where we have a half a C and a half an E minor. Down up on the C, missing the down, and getting to the E minor on the up, down, up. Here that is again, the whole line. So that last measure, I'll break that down one more time, a couple more times slower, and just that, the half a C, half an E minor. Down up on the C, missing down on beat 2, up on E minor, that would be the and of 2, missing down on 3, and then up, down, and I'm on the last up now, which is on beat the and of 4, and I let go of it because I'm about to land back on G. Now after 4 of those, one more time. One more time. And I'm either going to land now on G if I'm repeating the line, or A, fingering I like for A, first finger on the 3rd string, second finger on the 4th string, 3rd finger on the 2nd string. And now the campfire version of this, just go to that A and keep the same strumming pattern going. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. 4 sets of those. Back to the beginning of the song. Now you could throw in something a little fancier on the A just by having the last measure be a constant flow of eighth notes. Instead of a quarter and 6/8, it could be 8/8. That would add a little bit more kind of the drum roll effect, getting us back to the top, or a turnaround kind of feel. Or you could do what Neil Young does, gets kind of fancy with it. Now, he doesn't do exactly that. He does it a little different every time. He's kind of a creative guitar player. He's not locked into patterns. But as we learn these campfire songs, we first want to get the patterns down before we worry about getting too creative or messing around with them. So you really got to get the basics down before you worry about the specialty type stuff. But Neil Young does a lot of specialty type stuff in his playing. But this still makes Rockin' in the Free World great campfire song, and with just the words there and the chords, you should be able to play through it and sing it, especially if you got some good pipes and a big range of notes, because it does get up there. So anyway, that's it for our campfire look at Rockin' in the Free World.